Hi everyone, welcome to 28 COE Talks. I'm with Mr. Marco Petersen from South Africa, whose background is in finance and he has served as a financial director and CFO to many different businesses, predominantly in the manufacturing sector. He has grown beyond a finance role in the last decade and has operated as a shareholder and board member for various organizations in different capacities. Currently, he owns a franchise known as the Alternative Board, where he assists business owners to achieve their version of success with the help of a peer advisory board that he chairs. His purpose is to get business owners to up their game and build sustainable businesses. He is involved with Rotary International, where he gives his time and expertise to improve the lives of those less fortunate than us. He's an avid tennis player and someone that loves sport and healthy living. So I want to talk about leadership. The topic that we decided is that leadership has no title. First of all, what is leadership and what are some of the skills of leadership? Can you talk about that, please?
Yeah, the title leadership has no title is quite a passionate one to me. It's actually one of my quotes for the upcoming book. And it literally revolves around one of the qualities of a good leader. And for me, that's around listening. All too often, we have leaders that throw their title out. I'm the MD, or I'm the CEO, or I'm the boss. You kind of need to do it my way, or it's the highway. And for me, I think that hampers organizations greatly. I often use the analogy of an iceberg. So, you're sailing on the seas and along comes an iceberg and all you see is the tip sticking out of the water and you think, oh, well, it's still plain sailing. That's not going to do any damage. But the real issue is what's under the water. And obviously a ship like the Titanic experienced that and sank. And if you can apply that to your own business, the bit that's sticking out of the water, when you as the leader are looking at that little bit, you're thinking everything is fine. That's the information that you've got at hand. That's the information that's been fed to you. But actually, in order to create a great business, you need to understand the problems or the challenges and possibly even some of those solutions that are lying below the waterline. And that's that big mass of that iceberg that you don't see. And for me, the only way to really delve into that part of the organization as the leader is very much to create an environment that has open and honest communication or transparent communication at all levels of the organization. I can actually challenge a lot of business owners that say, I'm the boss and this is how we're going to do it. I think they often feel very lonely at the top. And they're kind of left to make decisions on their own when they throw their title around.
So you said learning is one, and that is the transparent communication. That's what is important, right? So let's talk about this. What is transparent? What is instead of asking what is transparent communication, because somewhat we understand, but let's try to understand what is not transparent communication. Can you give some example or some type of non-transparent?
We're too afraid to actually speak the honest truth about a mistake, about a fault, about something that's not working, because we're afraid of the repercussions that may befall us as a manager that's further down the line. So that would be one area of not having transparent communication. Another area linked to that is I do my job. I don't say anything, whether it's positive or negative. I just keep quiet and I make sure, the report that I have to do on a monthly basis or the data capturing, or I'm operating a machine and I have to just get out X number of components. We just do that and we don't engage with our fellow colleagues at the end of the day. Another example of poor communication is very much taking over the conversation. Not allowing for people to express their own views, their own ideas, their own creativity. And so again, we're just shutting down that communication, which is ultimately very much needed to make good decisions for the business and put it on an even better track where it is currently. I'm not saying that all businesses are about to fail because there's a lack of communication, but I think a lot of businesses can do so much better if they're getting feedback from different levels of the organization.
No, I think feedback is very important. I do believe, feedback is what makes us understand what we don't know about ourselves. So they say, we do not know what we do not know about ourselves. It is only the other people who know about us, right?
Correct, and I think that's a good point. If I can grab it for a second here, in that everybody's communication styles are different. Some people are very enthusiastic, some are more reserved at the end of the day, and one of the tools that I suggest is getting to know each other's communication style. I use the term what gets people to put on their armor to protect themselves. What sort of communication they might shut down, they might fight back or be aggressive, they might leave the room and try to come back later. And that's all people in the organization putting on armor when they feel uncomfortable. And there's a number of, I recommend a number of assessments. At the Alternative Board, we use the DISC profiling tool in terms of creating this transparent communication. But there's wonderful tools out there like Gallup Strength Finder, Enneagram, Myers-Briggs, etc. that you can use these in your organization with your teams to get a better understanding of who's around the table and really create this environment of creativity, collaboration at the end of the day. You said something about not knowing everything, and as business leaders, I think one of the most important traits to have is to acknowledge that you don't know it all. And coming back to the Alternative Board, that's what we do, is we get business owners that are looking to grow around the table to share knowledge. I think that's very important to me, that it's having that open mind to just explore new ways of doing things.
In short, can we say leaders are learners? Can we say leaders are constant learners?
100% they are learners. I subscribe to lifelong learning myself, and whether it's reading, whether it's listening to podcasts, leaders very much need to have an open mind and get different perspectives. Leaders don't know it all. And leaders don't have a title. That title can scare people away. So a leader is somebody that people can come to and have open discussions. It's not to say that they have to implement everything that they hear, but they're still the ultimate decision maker at the end of the day, whether they're the MD or the CEO. But you can make better decisions by having these conversations.
Good. Okay, so what I take from this short interview is that leaders are learners. They don't have any title. They are not MD or CEO. They are learners. And the method to learn is through transparent communication, proper communication with the team members and other people, right? Okay, so that's a great thought.
And maybe just a final point on that is leaders are in all areas of the organization. So you don't have to be the DV to be the leader. You can be a manager, you can be a supervisor. If you encourage that kind of communication in your teams, etc., and you're open to learning, you're a leader.